Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I thought that I would go live to answer some questions that I have been receiving. I hope y'all been enjoying all these videos that I've been posting. I hope it's very educational and I hope it touches somebody out there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I had to write them down because I have a lot. And I'll probably, since I'm doing it live, I'll probably do maybe like 5 to 10 questions. We'll just see how long these answers are. Okay, so for the first question that I have received, and I'm going to read them how people have asked me. What is his condition? Can you break it down? Okay, so Silas has HIE. It is known as hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy. So basically, all 4 lobes of his brain did not receive enough blood or oxygen to the brain. So what happened was it destroyed his brain. And oh god. Okay, sorry. That was Silas coughing. So it destroyed his brain. So pretty much what he has, it's affected his lifestyle forever. He can't see. He has cortical vision blindness or impairment. He has scoliosis. Also, the HIE, over the years, it turns into cerebral palsy. So he has spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy. And so he can't walk. He's nonverbal. Let's see. Sorry, this is like my first time ever going live since I've always made videos. But basically what he can and can't do, I'll go through that. He is not able to take much food by mouth. So he has a G-tube that he does that. Like I said, he can't really see. What we think he can see is maybe shadows and bright contrast. He has heightened hearing, so he can hear everything. And so, yeah, I hope that answered the question. Was Silas born with this condition? If not, can you explain what happened? Okay, so I'll try to get through this without getting teary-eyed. But no, Silas was not born like this. He had a pretty tragic birth, which could have been prevented. I really don't want to get in too much detail. So he got stuck in the birth canal. He got stuck in the birth canal for about 45 minutes. And the person that was helping was not a licensed doctor, and they let go of the forceps they were trying to use, so he got sucked back in. And so that's what caused him to have a HIE. During that time, he had to go to the NICU and get cooled with a cooling cap because his brain was swelling, and the cooling cap just helped it not swell more. So yeah, the first 24 hours he was on a ventilator. And if you know me, you know that I'm a believer of Jesus. So I definitely believe that him being on there for only 24 hours was a blessing and a miracle in disguise, because children like Silas don't typically come off the ventilator after 24 hours. So yeah, that's a little bit of what happened. Let's see, there's people saying stuff. Okay. What types of therapies does Silas do? Um, so Silas does occupational therapy, he does physical therapy, and he does speech therapy. And he just recently started doing equine therapy. And occasionally I will take him to get massage therapy and cupping therapy as well. But those are the main ones that he does. Okay, is his therapy helping his condition? Yes, his therapy is helping. It's not going to cure it, but that's okay. We do the physical therapy, the occupational therapy, and the speech at a facility here in town, and he's been doing that for almost 5 years now. So far, they have helped him with the range of motion, with gaining strength in his trunk and his core. And basically, that's pretty much it. Right in the speech, they're teaching him how to use a switch, and it's a little button that goes on somewhere on his body that he hits it whenever he's ready to talk. So yeah. Okay, this one's kind of funny to me, but I don't see it this way. But why is his head smaller than other children? Which, I don't know, to me that's funny because I don't see it small. But the reason it's small is because he has microcephaly. Microcephaly just stands for small head, and it's pretty much due to brain development. That's why. With a normal brain, the brain would grow with the head, I guess you could say. And remember, I'm not a medical expert, so this is just from what I've researched, doctor's appointments, what people have told me, things like that. So yeah, that's why he has a smaller head. Who watches Silas if you're not working or run errands? So that's a great question. My sister will watch him, and my mom, and or John, my husband. Those are really the only people that I trust and that Silas really, really knows. Other than that, if he goes with someone that he doesn't know, well, that's not good. Do or have you worked since Silas was born? Yes. Before Silas was born, I worked. After he was born, I still work, but then I started going a little bit part-time. Right now, I don't really work too much, just because I do have another child. And also, I take Silas to all his appointments and therapies and go out of town. Um, so it's just best if I stay home and do it myself. There is one that I really liked that somebody asked. Okay, this is important for everybody to hear, and not only that, but other special needs parents that may be watching. How do you handle it when people stare? Okay, so when Silas was little, I would hate when people stared. Yeah, there is a child that does not look, he doesn't look nothing like any other child, right? So I would give dirty stares back. Yes, I would. I'm not going to lie. Um, yes, I want to slap someone when they stare too. But now that he's older, I've had to learn that people are pretty ignorant and uneducated to the special needs world. So, I just give them grace and I look at them and I smile back. If people stare too long, then I just say, "Hey, Silas," tell them hi, or "My name is Silas." I speak for him. Um, so, yeah, I really, sometimes I don't like when people stare still, but I've gotten over it, I think. Um, or maybe I've learned to just deal with it in a different way. Um, so yeah. Oh, here's another good one. Has Silas had any surgeries? And yes, he has. But before I answer that question, these videos that I will be posting will help you understand what's going on with him and stuff. So the surgeries that he has had is a TNA. It's a tonsil and adenoid removal. He had that because he kept on getting sick with strep, tonsillitis, you name it. So he got that done back in 2017. And recently, we found out that his adenoids grew back. Didn't even know that was possible. So we're dealing with that right now. Another surgery he had was an adduction release, uh, and that is between the legs. I don't have a picture, so I'll show you, but it's between the legs. What they did was they went in and lengthened that muscle because he was at a high risk of a hip dislocation. And I'll show you by using my hands how the doctor explained it to me. Oh, this is actually how the doctor explained it to me. So here is the hip, here's a bone. This is how it's supposed to be, right? Well, his was out like that. So if it would have gone out, dislocated. So that's why he had that done. He was in a cast for 9 long weeks. And I hated it. He certainly hated it because he couldn't take a bath for 9 weeks. Imagine that. Um, sorry, I keep looking over there. He's just over there and I'm just watching him. Maybe I should bring him over here. Yeah, should I bring him over here? Answers. Okay. Let me get him. He's just chilling. He just ate. Yeah. All right. Say hi, everybody. Say hi, everybody. Okay. So I went through with his hip. He had a G tube and a fundoplication done when he was 30 days old. The fundoplication is where the stomach is wrapped around the top of the bottom of the esophagus to help him with his reflux. Uh, because without that, he would be spitting up constantly, and he could aspirate and choke. And we don't want that. His G-tube, which I'm sure you just saw. Let me lift you up, bud. Right there. Oh, goodness. So his G-tube was placed because while he was in the NICU, he was not eating or drinking a bottle by mouth, or if he did, okay, or if he did, he would aspirate and he would choke. So that's the reason why he has the G-tube. Trying to think of another. I think that's it. Yeah. I hope that answered that question. Are you just laughing at everybody on here? So it's almost my bedtime. Okay, so to go along with the question I just answered, does his button hurt him when being held? I don't think his button hurts him unless you are pulling on it when it's connected to the extension cord, or maybe if he's laying wrong or laying on the side. But overall, it doesn't really hurt. I don't think, anyways. He doesn't act like it. Goodness. Okay, I'm gonna do a few more. Let's see, how many should I do? Like 3 more questions or 5 more questions? Five more? Okay. Okay, this is a good one. Because I'm just gonna be straight up honest with you. Do you get frustrated when Silas acts up? Do I get frustrated with you when you act up? Yes, I sure do. He does push my buttons, and yeah. So whenever he is acting up, I don't know. I just leave him. I leave him be for most of the time. I put him in his beanbag. I put him in a stander. Whatever will help me get over that frustration, I would do. Oh, goodness. Okay, so hopefully one day you could see his, what did she put? Nasty attitude, because he sure does have an attitude. Where he gets that from? Either me or John. Who knows? Maybe a little bit of both. Let's see. Oh, goodness. What is the next trip you want to take Silas on? There are many trips that I would love to take him on. But overall, I'm not really too sure. I haven't really thought about it too much. He's pretty into his surroundings. So maybe somewhere like in the mountains. I would love to do that because he could hear everything. He could just feel the air on his face. Yeah, I think that would probably be our next trip if we were given a choice. And I would say maybe in Colorado. I've been to Colorado once in my entire life, and I still remember it as if it was yesterday. It's so beautiful, and I think he would absolutely love it. Okay, this is a really good one. How do you know when Silas doesn't like somebody? So, he's a pretty vibey person, and I think he gets that from me because I can tell you right off the bat if I like you or not just by the aura that you bring, which is probably bad, but That's just me. So the way he tells us is he starts stiffening up his body. His face will, from acting silly like this, it just goes blank. You can tell with his eyes, but mainly him stiffening up is a big way to tell if he doesn't like somebody. And he will sometimes become vocal. Okay, 2 more questions, I think, if anybody's keeping count. Hello, everybody that has said hi. I hope y'all are enjoying this, and it's pretty informative. And while I'm on here, if there's any questions that y'all have, just type it and I can just answer them from right here instead of reading off my notepad. Okay. Yes, he is enjoying it because he knows it's all about him. And anytime he knows it's all about him, oh man, he's in heaven. Right, dude. Oh gosh. He loves to be the center of attention. Huh. Okay. Okay, here's one. How is his immunity? So, compared to a typical child, his is a little bit more fragile, I would say, because when he gets sick, he really, really gets sick. If he gets a cold, compared to a typical child, the cold is like 10 times worse for him, because he can't blow his nose, he can't cough up all the gunk, and he's not mobile to be moving it around and stuff. So when he, like, say he has a cold, he'll have that cold for, I don't know, a month or so, or finally getting over it. But overall, I would say he is in really healthy condition, just besides him not being able to do stuff like that. So I hope that answered that question. I have one right here. How does Silas do on road trips? So when he was little, he did good because he slept a lot. As he gets older, you're so silly, dude. As he gets older, it's getting a little bit more difficult because he starts becoming vocal. He'll kick the chair, or he'll just stiffen his body up. So we travel to Fort Worth, Texas for appointments, and that's about a 5.5 to 6 hour drive, depending on how fast you drive. If that tells you anything. And he does pretty good on that trip. I do stop like 2 to 3 times the max, just to get him out, stretch his body, change him if he needs to be changed. And so he does okay. We recently went on a vacation a few months ago, all the way down south, and that's about 12 to 16 hour drive, depending on how fast you go. That one he didn't do very well. Excuse you. He did not sleep at all. He was pretty tense the whole time. When we got there, he slept for 2 days, which is not normal for him. So I had to call the doctor and ask them to get me something for motion sickness or something like that to help him. And on our way back, I think it did help him. I can't remember if he slept or not. I slept since then, so give me a break. But overall, he does decent unless it's a really long trip. Okay. This one is about his Botox. Why was he getting Botox? So he started getting Botox, I think like 2 years ago or so. At first, it started working, and his body just soaked it up. But the reason why we were doing it was to help him relax his muscles a little bit better. You can't see him right now, but normally he has his arm in extension, so like that. It's hard for him to bend. Right now he's bent because he's relaxed. We also did it in his neck because normally he turns his head to the left like that. And the first dose that we did, it worked, and he was able to be in midline, which is the middle. The second round didn't do so good, so I just stopped that. He also was getting it between his thighs before the surgery, and that was to help with the scissoring. Yeah, I'll answer that question here in just a second. So he was scissoring, so that was kind of helping a little bit. I discontinued it, like I said, because his body just soaked it up. Apparently, the Botox is supposed to last like 6 months or something like that. It wasn't even lasting a month. The most it lasted was like 3 weeks. So it was pointless for me to be putting him through that and wasting my time going over there. So that is why he was getting Botox. Okay, for this question, I did recently post a video of him toothbrushing. So if you have not seen that, go check it out. But how does he do at dental appointments? He does really good. He's been seeing our dentist for almost 5 years. And he just sits there on my lap and he smiles. His doctor sticks his finger in his mouth, and he almost bites it off or tries to. But overall, he's pretty good. I can't wait until he gets a little bit older. That way he can sit in the chair by himself and look like a big boy and do that. So, yeah, he does pretty good, I have to say. Okay, one more and then I'm done. He's being too silly. Can he eat solids? No, he cannot eat solids. He does eat food. I have to puree it, which I am hoping to make a video of me making his food. He eats pretty much everything and anything. Actually, I take that back. He is particular about his meats. He used to be a vegetarian, just so you know. But I normally puree his food, and he will eat it by mouth. If he's sick, it just goes straight to his button. So there's that question. Some of these questions I don't want to answer because I want to actually show y'all. Not with him, but just like with props, I guess. Okay, I'm going to reply to a good one to finish off this video. How has having another child affected Silas? So when I was pregnant, I was pretty scared. I was pretty nervous that he was not going to like this child because he was an only kid for 4 years. And when we would go to therapies or doctor's appointments or anything like that, he did not like babies crying. Like he just absolutely hated it. So that worried me. But the whole time that I was pregnant, I was telling him he was going to be a big brother, that mommy had a baby in her belly, and I would show him YouTube videos of newborn babies crying. He would smile at the videos, which to me, that was a good sign. So periodically, I would show him those videos. That way he could remember. Goodness, dude. But overall, he has enjoyed having a little baby brother. His baby brother is going to be 10 months on the 24th. I feel like him having a brother has really helped him progress in many ways, from his personality to his progression. He is a lot more interactive with you, as before he really wasn't. He sleeps through the cries, through the screams, everything. Um, they have a pretty special bond. If those that know me see, yes, and they do love each other. Silas definitely gets annoyed though with him. It's funny. Um, so yeah, I think having another kid has really, I don't know how to explain it, has really helped him in many, many ways. um, so yeah, I hope all these questions and answers really helped y'all and helped y'all understand a little bit more about him. I have a lot more to go, so I will be doing another Q&A sometime maybe in the next few days, in the next week or so. So yeah, he just peed out of my diaper, so that is definitely my cue to go. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I will see y'all next time.